Hey guys, thanks for stopping back by the channel and checking out another episode of Hi-Ho Silver. This one is Hunting with Hi-Ho, and we have a beautiful permission to check out. We are gonna see all the trash, all the treasure, so let's hope we find something shiny and let's go check it out.
All right, guys. Let's see here. We'll get back on our... Yes, man. One of the things that I really dig on, guys, and I know not everybody's in this situation, and I just feel so fortunate. That's a nice signal right there. I feel so fortunate. Part of it's my age. I don't come off as a threat to people. And I live really close to thousands of homes that were built in the 20s and 30s. And people are just friendly. They're just if you... Now, I'm not saying every person lets me get in their yard or nothing like that at all. But by and large, boy, the people that... And I'm sure my hit rate on asking people is pretty high. I think this is going to be a wheat penny, guys. What do you say? It's a penny, all right. $0.01, one wheat penny. All right. Maybe we're gonna look into maybe we're gonna run into a piece of silver. Who knows? I sure like finding the Wheaties. So anyway, yeah, I feel quite blessed to have the time, the willingness, and then be right here amongst folks who are interested in what I'm doing, and it's a very cool deal. And this is probably a piece of junk, but was getting a little bit close in that nickel range, and we're right by where that wheat penny was. And truth is, guys, the signals have not been ringing up that true in here. There's times I get on them and they're just so consistent. That hasn't really been the case here. There's another little... This, guys, is an old... I believe that to be an old watch. I think that's the stem on it. Now, it could have been a play watch or something like that, but it's the shape of it, and I think that's what that was. So I'll clean it up and try to identify it much better than I can show you right now, but pretty sure we're onto something there. Sure has that memorial penny, wheat penny kind of sound. Nope, we got something else going on here, guys. This is very cool. Let me just put my stuff away here. I think we have a pair of dog tags, and it might actually be a pair of old dog tags. Man, this is so cool. Get this put back up so I can pay attention to our finds here. How cool is that, guys? A pair of dog tags. That shape and that style could easily be from the 20s or 30s. Let's get a brush out here and see if we can't make heads or tails of it. But for sure, that's one for the Hi-Ho cycle. for sure, for sure. Yeah, now that's the back end of it. I just don't see anything identifiable there. Nothing yet. It almost feels like I'm going to need to kind of break these apart a little bit to get any ID off of them. I think this is aluminum and this is brass. But I want to see what we've got. So, between my brushes and my high hose, we're going to figure it out. That aluminum is really corroding away. Tell you, really take your chances when you start bending metal that's this old. Yep, there we go. It's coming through now. It's coming through now. I think it says 1954. $1950 something. That's cool. What a neat sign of yesteryear, guys. They say 1959, I don't know, I can't quite tell. But that is a cool old dog tag, set of tags, and we will be cleaning that up. That's good for the high hose cycle. And yet another relic coming out of this yard from a time that would be giving up silver. So, just saying. Just saying. Yeah. And I swung over that a few times and never got it out of the ground. Here I go over it again. I might as well just get this one out and you watch. It'll be something nice. Yep, nice as an old beaver tail pull tab. But I'll do that sometimes, guys. I'll be convinced I'm not going to dig it up and swing over it and come back. Swing over it again, and like on this one, accidentally just come back, swing over it again. Like, you know what, just get the darn thing out of the ground. Okay, I'm actually going to swing right over this sidewalk. There's the way it's made, there's a lot of in-betweens, the stones, grass growing up through, etc. It'd be very easy for somebody to drop something relatively valuable down in there. That's pretty darn clean. Now, this area is on the north side of the house, and this happens to be on this corner lot that's odd shaped in the first place. So this part of the yard is odd shaped too. Don't know how much traffic this would have gotten back here. Leads around down to the garage, but the garage was made so long ago it's almost not a useful portion of the house. Oh, here we go, guys. That is not a piece of silver. And I do believe I whacked it with my shovel. But I think this might be a... Yep, that is a play money dime. Right there. I believe that to be a falsa pecunia. The job for hi-hos. I do think that was me that whacked that. I don't know it. I've had these fooling me before and they were tax tokens. But I don't think that's the case on this one. Got a little shield on there. Yep, I got a little 10 on that, so that is a play money dime. Try to straighten it out a little bit, but I like that play money, man. It sure represents a different time in the era in our country. Play money dime it is. How about we go from the play money dime to the real life silver dime? That wouldn't hurt my feelings any. We're here right by these electrical lines and other stuff, so it won't surprise me if we get some junky signals over in here. Get this one out of the way first. Figure out what that other one is. Yep, this piece of trash. Yeah, I think we just got another one of those guys. That last one was a clamp of some variety. And I think this is just going to be another piece of trash. Yeah. Piece of fence. Piece of chain link fence. Oh, silver. Memorial. Alright guys, the way my timing is working out, I think I'm probably just going to do the rest of this side of the front and come back at another time and do the whole other side of the front, and then that backyard too. Every yard is different, and there's times when I'll do an entire yard. Yeah, it might be small yards and that kind of thing, but I'll do an entire yard and I might have 3 pennies and a nickel and 25 targets total. And this has just been one target after another, which is fun. Yeah, I do find some trash that way, but do find some trash that way, but come on, where'd you go, baby? But my point is that there are a lot of targets in this yard, a lot, and it's just gonna take a while to recover them all. Oh, look here. Oh, I thought that was an old arm. Yeah, that's what it is. That is an old army, man. And that toy soldier looks like he's got a... Man, that thing is heavy. That thing is heavier than... Man. I don't know if that might be something besides an army, man. It almost looks like he's got a superhero cape or something. Darth Vader, but he wouldn't be shooting a gun. So, anyway, don't know exactly what that is. But that'll be fun to clean up and figure out. And man, is that heavy. That thing is way heavier than most every lead figurine that I've ever gotten. So that is so cool. Yeah, it might be Star Wars. I just don't know. Okay, guys. This is the second time. It might be may not be of any sort of news to you, but this is my second time here, and the reason I had to come back was because my SD card ran out of Go juice. But this is a beautiful, beautiful old home right here on the corner, and we didn't get a lot done with it. Hoping to wrap that up today. Don't have a lot of hope for this particular signal, but, and I've already actually done this portion, but sounds like we might have a couple of signals here. So let's just get started. Found a lot of cool stuff in the last one, but it's not much in the way of silver, that kind of thing. Not sure what we've got here. It's ringing up pretty ugly. Just don't like that signal much at all. Yeah. Oh, here we go. See the bottom of this, guys? I think that might be a little stand. That's why you get those ugly signals. Now, I thought it was a stand for a toy car, excuse me, a toy soldier, but it turns out it's a little handle from a toy cap gun. So again, we're in the right era of relics, but we're looking for, you know, the whole toy gun or something else there. So that one will go in a red bag, and that's a decent start on the day. And that's just shows you guys it's one of the ones that I swung over before, never did dig because I didn't like the signal. So you pass up signals at your own peril. Yeah, that one wasn't such a great deal, but hey, could have been something real cool. So, but at least now we know why it was an ugly signal, and it definitely has a time frame associated with it. Definitely. All right, guys. We had done some of this portion over here, so I'm gonna This is where my SD card got completely filled up. Was over on this side. That sounds like a surface penny. Shallow penny. That is not a penny. It's shallow, but it's one of those little, I'll call it a pipe flange or fitting or something like that for a little copper pipe. Well, sometimes those come out and they sure look like rings, but they're not. That one's pretty small. All right, guys, we're kind of on our normal process here, if you will. Said I've already done some of this yard. Little hose clamp right there. Little surface fine visual. You can see he has these piles up here, so I'm not going to try to make much of a mess. That's a decent signal under there. Kind of like that, actually. Let's see what we might have. It doesn't seem real deep. Let's see what we just might be on about. Oh, is that it? Yeah. Another bazinga. Almost positive that was it. So anyway, yeah, he took the time to rake this stuff up, so I'm not going to dig through it unless I get a real cherry signal there. Oh, there might be a penny in there. A lot of signals over on this side. Sounds like another might be a penny right there. Maybe, just maybe. Yeah, come on. Let's see where that thing's off to. Yeah, I just missed it. It's a little bit deeper too. But I just missed it. It sounded real nice, kind of a signal, like a good coin, but definitely something repeatable down here. Got that sound of a coin now, though. One stinking zinking. First one in the blue bag, though. Nice thing about this side over here, not gonna be tearing things up, but since it's 70% dirt and 30% grass, there's no problem from the homeowner if I leave a little track there, but definitely want to be kind about it. It's ringing up high enough, it might actually be in the pile. Right. I'll say it's probably another penny. Yeah, when those guys disappear like that, it's almost always a... Yeah, we've got multiple signals down there. Alright, that's a surface penny. That's a zinking. There's something else here. Not sure if it registered on the... It's another surface pen. Nope. No. That's a nickel. And that is a Jefferson. Going in the blue bag. These yards, guys, you find nickels, and boy, that legend is a nickel getter. Find some nickels, man. You're going to run across some buffaloes. Alright, so that was giving me an off signal. Penny black, but kind of different. So now that might be the reason, because it was a penny and a nickel. Alright, guys, enough of this particular hole. Put our pile back together a little bit here. Alright, just about joined up now from where we left off here. That sounds like a... That sounds like a clad quarter. Quite shallow. Oh, I think I see something down there. I think I see something shiny. Yeah, hey guys. First of all, it's not a quarter, for sure. Secondly, I don't know what the heck I've got, but boy, I didn't treat it very nicely. Look at this, guys. It's big. And boy, is it light. Now, I hope it's a token or something, because it could be, it's so light, it could be like a washer or a spacer or something, but huh, that's crazy. How big around that thing is. Yeah, I'm going to throw it in the keeper bag, but I don't think that's anything. If it's nice, I'm going to clean it up and show it to you guys on Monday Digs video, but that is slick on both sides there, so I don't think that's anything we're trying to hunt. Like a little cover off a electrical box or something. Boy, that rang up pretty nice though. This one's quite a bit lower, but in the same hole. So this one sounds strangely like a zinking. Well, I'll say one thing about this yard. I haven't gotten any silver, no jewelry, but man, there's been a lot of targets. That's a junky old piece of chain link fence. Been a lot of fun digging in this yard, but maybe we'll start hitting some of those treasures we're looking for. And back here somewhere is right where my SD card filled up last time. So. That sounds dangerously like a surface penny. It's pretty loud. Yeah, whatever it is, it's out of that hole. One penny. One memorial penny. One thing that happened, even though I know this is probably the exact same video for you guys, I was here before, ran out of SD card, so I had to blaze, but it was nice out. I mean, it was in the 50s or 60s for sure, and man, I got home and started turning cold, got down into single digits, got some snow. So now this is 4 or 5 days later that we're back here checking this stuff out. Yeah, it sure sounds junky, but sounds like it's right on the surface. That's an interesting shape there. At first I was gonna say that's part of a shoehorn, but I don't think so. Not with the rivets in there like that. That's kind of cool though. It's a nice old brass piece, and so I'm gonna clean that up. I'm gonna put it in the blue bag first, and then see if there's any sort of marking on it. I don't recognize the shape, so if any of you guys do, please put it in the comments, and then we'll both know. That's got that penny kind of sound to it. Nope, that's no penny. That's a bullet. I'd say that one's bigger than a 38. Doesn't appear as though it was fired, but at least there's nothing misshapen about it. And I'm quite sure it's modern. Well, it's been quite a little while since actually, I was about to say it's been quite a little while since I ran across some Civil War era stuff. It's not 100% true. I did get a musket ball not too long ago. Can't really prove that was, associated with the Civil War, but musket ball, boy, that could be even a lot older than the Civil War. So we'll have to see about that. This one was kind of a mushy signal, so I don't think I got it right over it. And under the right circumstances, that thing is ringing up pretty high. So it's likely trash, but maybe it's one of our goodies that's just hidden a little bit. Maybe it's one of our goodies. It's got quite an interesting patina. It's the shape of a button, but it feels like it's lead. Try to get in the light here. It was really giving me an off signal, so I suppose there's an off chance. Might be heavy enough that it was a spent bullet, but I think it's probably just trash. It's going in the blue bag though, and I'll I'll clean it up, and if it's something really cool, I promise to show you right there on a Monday Digs video, right after we give away some silver on Hi-Ho Live. Yeah, I'm not sure if we had our last gasp of winter weather. We may have, but I won't miss it much. I do not mind getting out here, putting a headband on and getting a real good sweat. Makes that dirt stick to you real good. There's still something down there, but I think it's just another piece of that lead. I want to get over to the other side of the yard, so I'll finish this up and I'm just getting these darn signals that sound kind of okay one direction, pretty lousy the other direction. Yep, a lot of trash over here. More trash. Yeah, even though I suspect this is one of the most recently trafficked areas of the front yard, because it's between that sidewalk and the front door and the driveway. Just got a feeling over there in that long stretch of that yard there's going to be some targets there. Just got a feeling. Plus somehow I've gotten spoiled. I like to dig where there's some little grass, so it doesn't. So my tracks are covered up pretty good. You know, come back a day later and my tracks are covered up pretty good over here too, but I don't like the dirt. This is an off signal also, but it's ringing up enough in a good range where I think it might be a dime on its side or something along those lines. Doesn't sound too bad, guys. Wouldn't it be cool to get something shiny out of this yard? Wouldn't that be cool? Well, that's not shiny. Might be old though, it's a penny for sure. There's Abraham Lincoln on that side. And that's a Wheatie. First Wheatie of the day. Not first Wheatie out of this yard, but first Wheatie we got out of there today. Very cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. And I'm going to apologize in advance to all those folks who are like, what year was that weedy? I get why you're asking, and just know that I'm not going to just chunk it, if you will, but I'm looking for all kinds of targets, and if I hang in there and try to date every single weedy that comes out of the ground, I'm just not spending my time as wisely as I want to. Yeah, I don't hold out a lot of hope for this one, but let's see, it was down in the 20s. Oh, sweetheart, yep. Down in the 20s for a reason. Piece of junky old foil. Yep, another junky signal, guys. It's just so hard to pass them up in the 40s there, especially when it's halfway repeatable. Oh, come on. Yep. It's an old piece of aluminum. Hi-ho, silver. Hi-ho, hey. All you lonely ones, come on out to play. One more swipe across this side of the yard, and then we're heading over to that big patch. Another one, quite ugly, guys. Quite ugly, but I just can't leave it there. And I got, oh, this is a, check it out, guys. See, there you go. It's always a reason for digging that signal. That is, I believe, an old button. Could use the high hose on this, but I'm just going to use a little brush on it. I don't know if that is a button. There's a little hole for it right there, like it would have gone on someone's garment or been at least tied to something. I don't know if it was a decorative or actually used as a button or something. I don't know. We'll clean it up proper, but it's quite light. It's not heavy at all. So who knows? Who knows just exactly what it is. Cool. One thing about it, you just never know what you're going to swing over. You just never know. Alright, guys. So we're done with this area over here of the house, and now we're going to go down that long stretch over near the over near that stop sign. Well, actually, we're not done, are we? We need to do the rest of this. I got that situation again with my headphones. Somehow they just get unsynced, or that kind of the low latency aspect of it just gets off somehow. Part of the wireless communications, and boy, unless you get I just would not be able to. Yeah, it's not what we want. That little delay, that lag in there, that's what I got to do to have wireless headphones. I'd rather just have wired headphones. But so the low latency headphones, that just basically means it's a quick report. You know, when my coil is over it, I'm hearing it in my headset, and that's just the way I want it. All right, guys, low 40 signal here. Pretty classic penny range. But as you can see, that is not a penny. If you remember from before, along this side here, especially on the other side of the sidewalk, somebody had really bashed something old, and it might be aluminum, might be copper or brass, but it just hit into a bunch of shards, and they're thick, like it was a brittle kind of a metal. I'll liken it to like a top cover on a chain link fence post. And man, they sound so good, but they're just junk. So I'm going to go up and down this portion here to kind of square up the yard for myself, and then kind of do a symmetrical pattern all the way around it. Oh, just the way these signals have been going, it would not surprise me at all if that's just some more of that fence. But you guys wanted the whole hunts, so by golly, you're getting them. Yep, that's just some piece of bazinga. Now, this is a little bit different. This is a kind of a pot metal, and just came part in my hand, so that's not the exact same thing that we've been hitting on before, but that's just the nature of these yards. They're gonna have some stuff in them, so you don't get nearly as much of the modern trash that you do in the parks, but still plenty of trash. Way more trash than treasure. Again, low 20s. I've had gold ring up, my white gold wedding band. It rings up at an 18. But so I've had gold ring up this low before, but not usually. Usually when I'm in the 20s, it is because it's a piece of foil. And that is not a piece of foil, but it's also not anything real cool, I don't think. It's got some, looks like it's relatively old, but I think it just is a piece of hardware. It's like a little flange or something, I don't know, a little fastener or something. So, but it's round and metal, and boy, if you're in the ground and you're round and metal, that legend is going to find you. One thing I'm happy to report is, even though it won't be true for your timeline when you actually watch this, between the time I was here first and this viewing, I actually had a ring return call. And that was my 6th one for this year, 6th call. 4th time I actually went out to try to find something, because sometimes I get calls and it just doesn't make sense to go. And the guy said, well, it's in my car somewhere. And I tell him that, yeah, I can give you an extra set of eyes, but my detector is not going to help much at all in your car. So anyway, sounds pretty nice. So anyway, got a call for it was a little bit of a drive, but it was very cool because we were successful. Another Wheatie, by the way, second Wheatie today. Welcome back, sweetheart. But that gal, when she called, she was practically distraught. And getting that ring back in her possession unscathed was that was quite important to her, and I was so glad to be of help there. It's a beautiful rose gold wedding ring. So anyway, love ring finders, and it's been a fun adjunct, if you will, to my treasure hunting, because that's a different kind of treasure hunting, and you really got somebody on the other end that is vested in your success. So those are fun, and just did that yesterday. Now, where are you? Man, whatever that was, it must be pretty small. When I have this much trouble, it's usually like a little nail or some curved nail or something. But in this case, it's another one of those dang pieces of that whatever got shattered there. But I'm gonna keep digging them. If I keep swinging over them, they just sound too good to pass up. Not perfect, but sound too good. And another thing is, if anybody ever wanted to understand more about ring finders, kind of what it's about and all that, I'm glad to give you my opinion and my experience. Personally, I give it rave reviews, but it's not for everybody, so that's perfectly fine. What do you bet that's another piece of our famous busted up fence top? I do believe that's what that is. Just a bigger hunk of it. I don't know. It might be just a piece of lead. It's very heavy. Hunk of lead. So my name is Ed Rogers, and I have 3 nephews. And as they were growing up, Ed was hard enough for them to say, and Uncle Ed was even harder for them to say. So that morphed into Hunk, H-U-N-K, space A, space L-E-A-D, hunk of lead. And maintained that for a long time. Then when I got into this hobby, first couple of sites I was on, that kind of stuff, that was my moniker, hunk of lead. But then we changed it to Hi-Ho Silver. Everything changed. Alright, so where did our target go? Now that I'm over here in the decent grass, or a little more decent grass, if you will, I'm going to start digging my plugs a little bit better. You know, that doesn't sound too bad. I'll bet it's a penny, but I'd love for it to surprise me with something shiny right here. That would not bother me a lick. Man, crusty old zinc, and there's not even half of that zinking left. Dang it. Crusty. Yep, those all those pennies that have been made the last 30 or 40 years, even now that we're not making them anymore, they're going to be gone. We're not going to be finding a bunch of them with this metal detecting, because probably during my lifetime we will, but those zinc pennies, they're just not going to hold up in the ground for another 50 years or whatever. So, but boy, those memorials and Indian heads and Wheaties sure do. Yep, but I missed something in here, guys. There was another target in here. There was, I swear. There's one in that plug right there, and there might be another one down there too. That one, I see Abraham Lincoln on that side. Memorial. I think there's another one there. Before I put it all the way back together, I'm going to check it out though. That's the second time I've dug up that particular hole. Do much more in there, and I'm not going to be able to put it together back very clean. Yeah. Alright. This is one where I might have to do a little doing, guys, and just kind of clean it up afterwards. So I'm getting a 30 signal there. It's probably a pull tab. But there's another signal down there too. I just don't know what I have here, so. Just don't know quite what we've got. Doesn't sound like a real good report there, but probably our friend the pull tab. Oh, look here, guys. Look here, guys. That's no pull tab. That's no pull tab at all. That looks like it might be a ring. I don't think so. With that kind of a back, I think that is an old piece of jewelry, guys. I think it's an old earring. You can see that. That's awesome. Oh, you gotta dig those. You gotta dig those ugly signals, guys. And there was another target down there, sounded very similar. Wonder if that other earring could possibly be there. Let me get out my soft brush first here. Yeah, this looks like a piece of vintage costume jewelry, and I would say it's a costume earring, but completely guessing at this point. Looks like it may have, yeah, looks like I had some stones around the outside. Wow, that would have been a nice looking earring for sure. Some stones around the outside. You can see there's a couple still left in there, but that's what that is. If it looks nice at all, when I'll clean it up and we'll be able to take a look at it. But I do love the vintage jewelry, and one of these, one time out of 50, that'll be a gold earring. But anyway, that's what we got there. Very cool. Another one of those junky signals. That was fun. And now let's see. Let's see what else might be there. I'm pretty sure there's another signal down there. And that was low 30s. This one's mid 30s, and it's right in that same spot. So could be that matching earring, could be a crusty old zinking. It's right where I was digging before. Crusty. Look at that darn thing just fall apart. Dadgum zinkins. Okay. Well, to my memory, that's the first bit of jewelry that's come out of the yard, but last time we did find some cool stuff, an old lock and some other vintage stuff showing all the right time frame, but and as many finds as I've been getting here, I would have expected to run across some silver. So no proof of anything, but I would sure think that this place has been done before. But just one guess, because I'm just not getting practically any quarters, any that loud signal. That was that old lighting. It was up and down that side there. Well, it's got a nice ring to it, guys. That's a 45, 46, 47. It's up there in that 47 range enough, though. This could be a piece of silver. This could be our first shiny one out of this hole. No, don't think so. Darn it. Oh, keep your fingers crossed. I was sworn that was down in the hole. If I missed it, that's one thing, but if it's deeper than that, that's a good sign. think I told you guys before, but when I've already dug a pretty good sized plug and it came out nice like that, if I know I've completely missed my target, what I usually like to do from there is just do a little L-shape or C-shaped plug. That way I can get it all to fit right back together again real easily. Yeah, I just missed it the first time, that's all. Oh. Is that it? Darn it, I'm not showing you guys very well. Sorry about that. Look here, guys, right here. See this? We had to look and look and look, but that is a silver dime for sure. Don't know yet about what it is, but welcome back, sweetheart. You are awesome. I'm going to say it's probably a mercury dime, but let me get my plug back together here. I'm going to stand up and show you. This is a job for Hi-Ho's. Hi-Ho's silver. Well, we dug a lot of stuff in this yard to finally get over a silver. And I'm not sure that it was very deep. It just was standing right on edge. Yes, sir, that's a mercury dime for sure. That's a merc. And I'm afraid I'm gonna have to put my readers on to tell you what year it is, but oh, I love pulling that silver out of the ground. Thank you, sweetheart. Welcome back. 1943. Very cool. Welcome back, baby. Now check that out. 1943, guys. You know what that is? That's the war years. So that dime, that 1943 dime that came out of this hole on this day is going to go to one of you guys winning a Hi-Ho cycle. And you'll get a quarter, a dime, a nickel, and a wheat penny, all from 1943. Thank you, sweetheart. That is awesome. That is awesome. Hey, I was telling you I wanted to get over on this side of the yard. I'm just getting started too, so that would be very cool. That would be quite cool if we ended up really scoring over here. The legend was talking. She said, check out this wispy signal. Oh man, this treasure hunting is a lot of fun, guys. And that's got more of a clad dime, wheat penny kind of a sound. Do with my camera. I feel like my camera's right where it's supposed to be and it just keeps being off. That is for sure a penny. That's for sure Abraham Lincoln on that side. Weedage. Very cool. Yep. Don't like it when my finds are not in that camera view. Alright, there's a couple of keepers back to back, guys. How cool is that, huh? Back on this hedgerow again. That's a decent signal, but I'll bet it's another piece of that busted up fence top. Well, that's not what it is. It's a Bazinga, but that is a well-made piece, and it's definitely been in the ground, or definitely from a different era. That's not a piece of that fence top. All right. Get over here to even with that tree, and then I'm gonna go around the entire edge at this this front here. Well, guys, we've been talking about the legend being a nickel getter. It could be trash, but boy, that's in the nickel range. Why are you not standing up, man? Sorry guys, getting a little frustrated with my camera. Doesn't sound real good now from the Accupoint. Man, where is that thing? Yeah, this is sounding more and more, guys, like it's just going to be a big piece of aluminum trash. That is kind of true. That looks like the top of a mason jar lid. That's what that looks like. I'm going to have to figure something out about my camera, guys. Sorry about that, but I want you to be able to see everything, and boy, I'm just not getting it right in the frame the way I want to. On your next find, pay attention to your camera. See what the heck is going on here. So I'm going to get even with that tree, and then I'm going to go all the way around the circumference of this thing. It's a shallow signal there. Okay. So you're in frame. You're in frame. Well, I was going to say that's... Did you hear how that was a 4142, guys? Now that is not your classic nickel signal. Not 4142 on the Legends, 2425. But when it's a different kind of a nickel made out of a different kind of a metal, then that can be quite a bit different. So this is classic for the way things here in the Midwest, and I'll say Kansas City, but in the Midwest, the way these nickels age. So if you look at this side, man, that thing is just like completely black. It's just, without seeing it, you'd almost think that was iron or something like that, right? But then when it flipped out of the hole and went over like that, oh, look how shiny that is. That is a war nickel. That is a war nickel. That is so cool, guys. So these are 35% silver. They were minted from 1942 to 1945. That one is another, looks to me like it says 1943. Maybe wrong on the date there, but I believe that's another 1943. And that is without a doubt war nickel. So that's 2 pieces of silver now in this this one part of this yard. So that's cool. I don't know. I just had a feeling this other side of this yard was going to be much better. And so welcome back, sweetheart. That's one for the Hi-Ho cycle. And I'll clean it all the way up and make sure that's good. Well, I don't want to. I'm in suspense, and I don't want you guys to be in suspense, so I'm going to put my readers on and I'll tell you the exact year. But man, I don't know. It's just so much fun pulling the silver out of the ground. I know some people are just ho-hum about that. That is a 3 right there on the end. Look how tarnished that darn thing is. Yep, 43. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's so cool. And look at that other side. Wow. That'll be a chore cleaning that up. But I'll use a mild solution of apple cider vinegar and a little water, and then as it begins to, that tarnish, that corrosion on there begins to soften up, I'll use some baking soda when it comes out of the water. It kind of fizzes it up and helps remove all of that stuff. But oh, that's so cool. That is 2 silvers and a wheat here within just about 15 feet of each other. That is way cool. Well, I hope that bodes well for this yard, this side of the yard. Thank you, sweetheart. All right, guys. I know that was a long, drawn-out deal, but man, it's so cool. Because you just don't know. I mean, it was a zinking signal. That was a zinking penny signal for sure. That fuzzy 41, 42. There's one quite trashy. Quite likely to be some little shard of aluminum or something like that. That is, look here guys, that is a shard of aluminum. Probably another piece of that same stuff right there. Good old pull tab. All right. All right. We're about to square this yard up a little bit. Solid 31 there. I wonder what the heck we've got on this one. Bazinga. Bazinga.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thank you for that. Very much appreciated. Also, on Hi-Ho Live, we give away silver every Monday night. So check it out. Thanks for being here. Happy hunting and big love from Kansas City.